What do we have to look forward to in 2019? Is the delete Facebook movement growing because we're reaching peak outrage? What did we like and loathe in 2018? We'll look at these topics and much more on our final episode of 2018, Disruptive FM, episode 30. Give me a beat.
It's Disruptive FM. Disruptive FM. Disruptive FM. Disruptive FM. Welcome to Disruptive FM, where business and culture collide. Sponsored by Microsoft and Branding Strategy Insider. With your host, Jeffrey Colon.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Disruptive FM, episode 30 for the week ending Friday, the 28th of December, 2018, and the final show of the calendar year. I'm Jeffrey Colon, your host for the next quarter hour or so, as we examine the culture of business and check out the latest news in marketing, tech, media, and popular culture. Let's go!
Here are this week's trending topics.
It's a new year, which means new things on the horizon. So what should we be looking forward to? Well, I love going to my favorite person when it comes to trend predictions and analysis, our contributor at large, Cheryl Barbee. As you know, Cheryl is Senior Vice President, Group Planning Director at FCB Global in Chicago. We got on Skype at the end of the calendar year to partake in the following chat, where we looked backwards and forwards. Let's listen in to things we loved and things we loathed. All right, we're joined with our contributor at large, Cheryl Barbee of FCB Global. And of course, we want to ask you what you saw in 2018 that you hope goes away, that you don't see moving forward. So let's start there. Let's dissect the past year of what we've seen so far.
All right. Well, the things that I hate is one of my favorite topics to talk about. So I'm really excited to be able to chat with you about that. I think the two things that come to mind are going to be relatively unpopular answers, but that's what I like to say anyway. So the first thing that I'm really not a fan of is Facebook advertising. I understand it's the lifeblood for a lot of brands when it comes to digital media. I don't think it's going away in 2019 entirely, but I do think that it is going to be on the decline because obviously we know people are losing faith in the platform. People are abandoning the platform, so frankly, the numbers will just be declining. It'll, of course, depend on what audience you're targeting, how much the decline is really going to impact a media buy. But I feel like a lot of brands over-rely on Facebook advertising and actually don't make sure to distribute that through to Instagram, where there's actually a lot more engagement. It's pretty easy to do both, since obviously they're owned both by Facebook. But I actually do see brands not engaging on Instagram as the primary place for reaching out to their audiences and instead over-relying on Facebook. I think that's a mistake. That being said, if they do reach out on Instagram, it really needs to be done smartly because Lord knows we don't need Instagram to have its experience destroyed. I think it's more difficult to destroy because it's an image-based experience, whereas I think the text-based experience of Facebook and video-based experience can be a little bit more disruptive. So in any case, not a fan of Facebook advertising.
Hope you enjoyed that conversation between myself and Cheryl Barbee on things to look for in 2018 while we reflected on 2018. Cheryl hated Facebook advertising, but is excited about disruptor bullies facing their own bullies in new startups and old legacy companies getting revenge. We'll see what happens as this new year is fresh and new and unfolds in front of us.
Trending topics on DFM.
We've gotten to a point now on social media where it's no longer enough to get mad. Everybody's angry. It's not enough to feel outrage. Everyone feels it. While pointing out the obvious isn't going to go away, and we need social justice more than ever, we also need to actually create prescriptive change. We saw this with the Stoneman Douglas High School students. Instead of simply sitting around tweeting contrarian BS for much of the year, they took action. Action, not simply words or tweets, is what causes your opposition or competition to really get scared. Because all they are able to do is storytell, while you're actually enacting real change and evolution. In 2019, we think it's no longer enough to scroll. We need to explore. Less friend requests and more meeting up with real friends. Less wondering and more wandering. Less outrage and more action. As one of our faves at DFM, Lily and Madeline, a duo from Indianapolis, croon on their latest single, Just Do It. A little less talk, a little more acting on it. Got no satisfaction, I don't want it. Enough is enough, no I can't quit. Too much wasted time, I have to commit.
Trending topics on DFM.
We firmly believe that the past is important to study here at DFM. We love watching how music evolves by building off old trends to create new ones. And of course, that's important in marketing too. So we wanted to get some opinions beyond just ours and go to the experts. Stein Broeder, Senior Marketing Communications Manager at Microsoft Advertising. Here's what Stein saw as a trend from 2018 that he enjoyed.
As part of the look back, I thought about this, and I think, there's the big things that you've seen a lot, AI, voice, etc. But I'll answer the question from the perspective of actually being a consumer or a customer. My answer is going to be more analog, and I think it comes down to a trend in customer experience and specifically customer service, and companies differentiating on customer service. You all hear that Amazon is really client obsessed, and I think that comes through perhaps in their product and the way they try and find the right thing for you, but it's not customer service that they differentiate on. And for me specifically, I'll point to actually a specific company called backcountry.com, where they sell outdoor gear, sort of high level. And I had bought something and I think it was the wrong size. I need to return it. And I had a great interactive experience with the customer service representative on chat. And I could tell I was actually speaking to a human because they were typing as you would talk. And I've had other experiences like that. And I think that companies are realizing that they can differentiate on service, specifically also customer service. And I think that's just a trend that's going to keep growing.
A quick rewind on marketing trends from 2018. Make sure to check out more of these on our latest video, Trends Studio, presented by Microsoft Advertising. You can view it now at youtube.com/Bing Ads.
You're listening to Disruptive FM with Jeffrey Cologne.
Now, here comes the music. Here comes the music. Here comes the music. Here comes the music. Here comes the music.
It's Disruptive FM, the culture of business. Brought to you by Microsoft Advertising and Branding Strategy Insider. I'm Jeffrey Cologne. Reach out and touch us on social media. The Instagram and Twitter handle is @DisruptiveFM. And connect with me personally on Instagram or Twitter @DJGEOFFE. And for more in-depth analysis of some of these topics, check out bingads.com/intelligence search and brandingstrategyinsider.com. And create better video with Eyographer. They make accessories for your mobile devices so you can make professional quality videos. Learn more about all the products we use here at DFM to create our videos at eyographer.com. Now, 2018 was a strange year for music. Even as the top 40, or more precisely, the Spotify top 50, arguably the only chart that matters anymore, was dominated by hip-hop. It feels like the ongoing fragmentation of the media landscape and the constant noise of the news cycle has rendered music, the thing that used to define popular culture, irrelevant. These days, very few songs can cut through the clutter to capture our collective attention and hold it for longer than 24 hours. But this year, one certainly did, and it happened through another seemingly irrelevant format, the formalistic music video. On May 5th, while he was performing on Saturday Night Live, Donald Glover quietly dropped a piece of art so shocking in its pointed social commentary that it blew up the internet and dominated our feeds for weeks. So it's kind of a no-brainer that our featured track and video for 2018 is Childish Gambino, This Is America. A refreshing, albeit disturbing reminder that occasionally music can still be very relevant and serve as the connective tissue that binds us together as a society. It's the end of the calendar year, which means let's take a look at some of the top lists from us, including our favorite subject, books.
And now, DFM presents... Do you even read, bro?
It's called reading. Top to bottom, left to right. Group words together as a sentence.
Book reviews for disruptive minds.
We love the printing press here at DFM and what it can produce. So we wanted to note our top 5 books for you to put on your lists for things to read in 2019 that were our faves last year in 2018. Here it goes. Number 1, The Curse of Bigness, Antitrust in the New Gilded Age by Tim Wu. This book is why, to help capitalism reinvent itself, big corporations should be broken up. Number 2, The Lonely City by Olivia Lang. We are more connected yet lonelier than ever, even in the biggest cities in the world. Why? Number 3, The Value of Everything by Mariana Mazzucato. An excellent analysis of how innovation has been starved due to measuring too much of the wrong things. Number 4, Temp, How American Work, American Business, and the American Dream Became Temporary by Louis Hyman. A stunning historical analysis of how management consultants, not tech startups in Silicon Valley, created the uncertain business world in which we live. Number 5, Why Women Have Better Sex Under Socialism and Other Arguments for Economic Independence by Kristen R. Godsey. An excellent anthropological analysis. Plus 2 honorable mentions, The Future of Capitalism by Paul Collier and The Job, Work and Its Future in a Time of Radical Change by Ellen Ruppel Schell. Okay, time now to check out some brewing stories you should have an eye on bubbling in early 2019. It's a segment we call On the Radar.
Here's what's on our radar. Number 1.
Apple slashed its guidance for the first quarter of its 2019 fiscal year, which ended December 29th, saying a number of factors resulted in fewer iPhone upgrades than anticipated. The tech giant now expects revenue of roughly $84 billion compared to $89 billion projected last November. The timing of its product launches, foreign exchange troubles, supply constraints, and weaknesses in emerging markets all played a role in the revision. The other thing probably hurting the company, people are updating their phones much, much less.
Number 2.
Bite-sized podcasts are now a thing. The format targets the paralysis that some listeners feel when faced with hundreds of thousands of podcast choices. A long list of unplayed episodes clogging up a listener's library that can lead some to declare podcast bankruptcy. It's when you wipe out your queue and start over, thinking that you have to listen to everything. And in some ways, you feel so overwhelmed you don't listen to anything. Shorter episodes reflect a shift in audio habits as people subscribe to more podcasts, but appear to listen less exhaustively to each one. In 2018, 80% of listeners played at least half of each episode, down from 86% in 2017. And about 1 in 5 are listening at faster than normal playback speeds. Sort of like the Chipmunks. Wow. Anyhow, if you want to listen to a bite-sized podcast of Disruptive FM, just check out Disruptive FM Daily, available now on all Amazon Echo smart speakers as a flash briefing.
Number 3.
And then the final thing to look at on the radar, big tech. Troubled in 2018, but it's only going to get bigger in 2019. Yes, you may be deleting Facebook, but these companies are getting more and more powerful as ever, according to a recent news story in the New York Times. Where will big tech go in 2019 could set the tone for the next decade plus. We'll be following that and a lot more here on DFM. That's a wrap for our 30th episode of DFM and our final show of the year. Follow me on Twitter or Instagram at DJGEOFFE. Follow Disruptive FM on Twitter or Instagram at DisruptiveFM. And you can read more in-depth content via our 3 sponsors, bingads.com/intelligent search, brandingstrategyinsider.com, and iographer.com. Next week, we speak with Matthew Passy, podcast consultant on what's in store for the world of audio in 2019. There's a lot of change on the horizon. Until then, for everyone here at DFM, have a happy and healthy new year. Thanks for checking us out. I'm Jeffrey Cologne. We'll catch you soon.
You've been listening to Disruptive FM with Microsoft Communications designer Jeffrey Cologne. All thoughts are his own. Disruptive FM is produced in Los Angeles by Feeler Media.